We're back at the Oxford Union with another fun debate, this time on religion. We have an argument presented by Nonie Darwish on her encounter with radical Islam. Let's take a look.
All religions are not equal. I was born in the Middle East under Islam, and I am now on a death sentence because I don't practice the religion anymore. Yes, there are religions that are very harmful to society. Some religions that are very harmful to the human spirit, to society as a whole, to the political system. Look at all Middle Eastern cultures, all their governments, from one revolution to another, from one coup d'etat to another, non-stop. Is that a coincidence? Do they have a religion that makes their society or that helps them produce an orderly society? I don't believe so. And that's why I can't visit the Middle East, where I came from, because I'll be killed by the religion I was born into. Not all religions are equal. Some religions are very helpful to society, and that's why I became Christian. Human nature, however, by itself is perfectly capable of harming society with or without religion. So my position really is somewhere in between here. And I would like, I'm sorry. Thank you, but I only have 6 minutes. Let me finish. So the harm that a religion can bring to a society, because a religion like Islam has to protect itself constantly. It seeks to survive at the expense of human rights. There's a sheikh called Sheikh Qaradawi. Recently, it's on YouTube. You can watch him. He's the top authority on in Sunni Islam. He's one of the top authorities. And he recently said that apostasy has to be punished by death, because if Islam abandons death for apostates, Islam will not exist. The top leaders of Islam cannot let go of the death penalty for apostasy in Islam. Why? Because even they don't believe that their religion can survive without government enforcement of the death penalty. The death penalty is part of Sharia. It's in all the schools of Sharia. It condemns those who leave Islam to death. This is a fact in all Sharia schools of law. And it's for the example, read the Sharia, please. I don't care about the Quran, it's your Sharia. Then you have people who don't like Sharia should demonstrate against it, not attack me, okay? In the process of protecting their religion, what happens with Islam is that process of protecting Islam, they have produced an ideology that is anti-human beings, anti-freedom, because Islam needs to survive, and it has produced rights, certain rights to the religion, not to be offended. You have a religion that has a right not to be offended under penalty of death, while at the same time that religion seeks to control government. Islam, one of the, has to control government. Islam without government enforcement does not have any strength to survive without government enforcement. So you have a religion that relies on government enforcement while at the same seeks government. What is the problem with all the revolutions in the Middle East right now? What's the problem? The problem is a fight between people who want Islam to control government and between people who don't want Islam to control government. Under Islamic theology, Islam cannot exist without government control. And that's why they have all this chaos in the Middle East, between those who want government control and those who don't want government control. But at the same time, the same religion that wants to seek government does not allow, under penalty of death, criticism. It's offended always. Don't offend me, because I'm a religion. If you offend me, or if you criticize me, then you're an Islamophobe. And I refuse that premise. I refuse that premise because if a religion seeks government to control government, that religion has opened itself to criticism. It cannot seek government enforcement. It cannot seek government enforcement and at the same time forbid criticism. If you want to be in control of government, then you have to accept criticism. And this is the dilemma of Islam. Thank you.
Okay, that was it. So again, we see one of our main arguments is that the fact that you have so many failed states under Islam, or third world, second world countries where they're failing to really have a proper society on their own, and they're putting religion on such a pedestal as if it's like their answer to all their problems. But clearly it's not, because you see they're still having a lot of sectarian violence among themselves, amongst their own Islamic groups, and someone who just speaks out against their religion is already on a death list. So that's obviously some good luck peddling that to Western countries when you can't get the reins on your own countries under the handle. Again, in general, I think these debates, they're very wide ranging. You can't really focus in on one issue, so it tends to be all over the place. You're not going to get that far. But in general, I think religion can be either good or bad, and depends if someone is using that religion to hold on to power, like she was mentioning. Unfortunately, there's always bad actors in any religion. You're going to see that in radical Islam with the terrorism. We see that unfortunately, with the child abuse in the Catholic Church, and even in Judaism, we see that with get holders, where men refuse to give divorce documents to their wives, and then they can't get married again until this husband, by the luck of the draw, decides to change his mind. So we definitely see that these kind of bad actors using religion to hold on to power. Also, just one interesting thing, in Israel, there's this notion that if the religious parties, the religious people gain control of the state, Israel will basically become another Iran under Khomeini, but which is totally false if you just look at the actual facts on the ground. And it's just really a lot of the media trying to stir up this hatred, as media always tends to do. First, Jewish law highly frowns upon the death penalty. Like Nonie was mentioning, the death penalty is something that they just wave around like it's like you knock off a person every day. For all you Talmud experts out there, the Talmud actually says if a Jewish court executes even one person every 70 years, they're considered a bloodthirsty court, which is highly frowned upon, because it means that your education system has failed to inculcate values into people that will actually get them to want to follow the word of God. So, if you failed at that point, there's really no point in the punishment if no one's going to get the message. It's more of a deterrence, just to know that you have the power, but it's there so that people will refrain from doing anything bad. Second point is that, in Israel, religious people are clearly not interested in power and politics. And you can see this with the current, unfortunately, long-lasting debate there with the Orthodox entering the army. The Orthodox want to stay studying their Torah and stay away from serving in the army. They're shying away, and they're saying, I want to serve my God in the ideal way, and they refuse to go to the army. So again, these religious people, they're not interested in power and ruling over other people. And the third thing is that I actually recently heard this by Konstantin Kisin. He had one of the guests there who was explaining how Khomeini's vision of Islam is that their Messiah can only come if they eradicate the Jews in the world. In certain circles of Christianity, you have the Messiah only able to come when all the Jews gather back in Israel. And even according to Judaism, that is one aspect where all the Jews have to come back to Israel. But the Messiah can only come once we are united and we get rid of that hatred amongst ourselves and we really unite as a people and we don't have anything holding us back from loving one another. So, clearly this is not something that's is right makes might. This is in Judaism, the Messiah is something beyond just religion claiming power. So just some advice, since we are in the three-week period of mourning over the Jewish temple, I think it's something that we should take to heart, is that if you have someone you're in a fight with, or someone you're in an argument with, or don't talk to, or family or friend, realize that if that person was being attacked by a stranger, you'd probably stand up and step in and try to save that person, ideally. I hope. Let your soul shine through. There's so much good within us. We can overcome all of our inhibitions and a lot of the things that are holding us back from reaching our potential. And if we do that in our interpersonal relationships close to us, we can ultimately defeat all our enemies around us. And, they might not even want to fight us anymore. So you're here with Jewish Uncensored. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And also consider supporting us at buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Am Yisrael Chai.